Really glad to have such a good turnout here. So, and we are really glad to have our guests from the various elements of the LRT Richmond Road Byron mass construction site, work in progress. See if I get the names all right and where everyone's from. So Jarrett is he's a communications officer with the Stage 2 office, and he's joined by Michael, who's also a communications person with the Stage 2 office. Brigitte, who works for the Complete Street project for Richmond Road. Got that right, which is a bit separate from the LRT, but very much connected for our neighborhood. And then we have Annie, who works for Kev. So we have a big resource here. So a number of people submitted questions. And so Michael's just kind of start going through those questions, but I'm sure as those questions get asked, you might get some other ones. So write them down and be ready to ask them. So we're a relatively small group, so I think we should be able to get to most of the questions. And I should just kind of remind you, these are people that this is their day job and their night job, and they come here tonight. And we may not like all of the answers, but ultimately, we're building improvements to the neighborhood, and it's been a long time, and people are frustrated. But let's just treat everybody with respect, because everyone's trying to get to the same place. It just might feel for some of us a longer period of time than others.
I'll also be taking notes here alongside Mike. So if there's any questions that we might not be able to get answered here, rest assured be taking it away to be able to get those answers and be able to provide you if we have your email addresses and stuff as well, or if you want to go through Sue,
that probably will go back
well.
to the association
Recap, that'd be great. Yeah,
and that's worked really well.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, I'm going to be running through just some, again, list of questions, but again, just want to thank everyone for having us. And as Sue said, we know it's a lot going on in this neighborhood, and as Sue also said, we are also invested in getting this done for you guys, so we can not only deliver the infrastructure that we're building, but kind of get out of your hair a little bit here too. So it's the general understanding. We're all in this kind of working towards the same goal, and general policy is we'll try and answer these questions as honestly as possible. And if we don't have enough information to answer it today, as Jared said, we'll take it away. We'll get something formal to your community association and go from there. So it works. Michael Brossoit, BROSSOIT for emailing purposes. So again, this worked really well because we kind of got a list of your questions. Sure, it's not all of them, but submitted in advance so that we could work with the city and also our partners at CAV to get the answers for you as best as we could. And then any other questions you have, we're not running out after we're done here. So if you have any questions, let us know. We'll go from there. So the first question I have here is, so the final configuration of the streets going into and out of Woodpark was a question that was raised at the open house that we did with Councillor Kavanagh back in March. So we just wanted to kind of explain when the final alignment, when we're all done, how you'd get in and out of your neighborhood. So essentially access to the neighborhood, so coming to your neighborhood will be off of Woodruff. So you'd be coming in either Anthony or Flower. And then egress from the neighborhood will be available from Byron at Ancaster, but it's a right turn. You have to cross through the linear park. And then there's some like MUPs and so multi-use pathways and pedestrian pathways and all that coming through the middle of the park. There's enough space there that we can have one right turn lane. So you go there, you take the right, and you can head eastbound on Richmond. So if you're looking to go westbound from your neighborhood, you'll go out the same way that you're coming in to Woodruff and then turn left onto Richmond. So go there. Okay. Again, it's going to seem fast, but please, if you have a follow-up, just write it down and we'll go back after, please.
Wait, I didn't follow you there on that. So if you want to go out of the neighborhood,
yep,
you either go out to Edgeworth or Wentworth or like out through Carling, or you get out at Flower or Anthony.
Yeah, so if you're in your neighborhood, there's all of your roads essentially lead to Byron at the end. If you're looking to go, like Byron's going to be open again, can't wait. You'll go down Byron. And then there's that one option to turn right onto, sorry, I forgot. Ancaster there. So we'll have one spot out. So the rest of it will just be basically local traffic. You can go in and out of your house and get onto Byron, no problem. If you're looking to get to Richmond itself, there'll be a right turn slip lane available, kind of leads you through the linear park to take a right to head eastbound on Richmond Road, going that way.
But if you're wanting to go westbound on Byron, you really are going to have to come out onto Woodruff.
Yes.
Go north and then turn left.
Turn left onto Richmond.
Or you come along, or you go out onto Carling.
Yes, if you'd like to go the other way, absolutely.
I just point out that it is going to be on the map, so we can walk through folks with the map later. It's all on there if you're more visual.
I'm just more wondering, it's probably not your domain, but you're doing the configuration of in and out, but if there's a developer that's going to be building right on Edgeworth, and we're trying to figure out how on earth we're going to be going in and out there, because we've had some houses being developed and sometimes it was down to like one lane and waiting it.
So this is an issue we have raised with the city councillor.
But it's not necessarily with.
It's not related to that, but there will be a transportation plan developed, and we've asked to be involved in that development of that plan, because it's going to be a huge bottleneck, and we're going to need some other options.
Slightly limited configuration there.
Okay, yeah, depending on the timing, I'd like to hear more. I'll follow up with you if you don't mind, and just find out what the expected timing for that is, because if
start next year.
Yeah, okay, we'd like to know about that as well. Yeah, so we'll get the name of the developer. We'll try and get a contact. Our construction team's always dealing with other buildings going up around our project too that we have to deal with, and make sure that everything is kind of meshing well, and making sure that we have a plan to have a lane closed, and so do they. Because if you don't talk, then that happens all the time. So yeah, I would love to know who that is, and the contact, so we can kind of mesh our plans there. So thank you. That's a very good tip.
I'm sure I can get that.
Oh yeah, perfect. So any questions on that? Again, we can show you on the map as well. Yep.
No question. Yeah. Observation. It's going to be houses small this time.
Can you be a bit louder? Sorry. That's it. Oh, you can't. Okay. I'll just come closer.
There are going to be other houses, just destroyed and rebuilt on Edgeworth, I think. And mentioning the tight spaces, it was very much a problem. Perhaps if you could ensure that these contractors who are building these places provide flagmen, direct traffic when they have big trucks parked in them. It's a simple solution.
Yeah, that's something our office can take away. They don't have any power over those private developers.
When we're done, we'll have lots of flaggers for hire.
But it's a real issue, and it's a real issue now on minor streets. When it happens on Midway and Hardly right now has 3 developments happening there, and Edgeworth it is going to be a disaster. There needs to be a code of conduct for construction officers, and they probably should park elsewhere and have shuttles that come in or something like that. But anyhow, that's another issue. But just a good example of all the bombardment that's happening.
Of course, yeah, and it's good if something comes up that's on a similar topic. It is your meeting, so feel free to discuss things that are on the same topic. The next one is the just general timeline for project milestones and completion, both for the project in general and specific for Woodpark. So you're, as Sue said as well, you're kind of in between both. You have the rail line coming up at Lincoln Fields going there, and you also have the Complete Street project going down. So the O Train West Extension project, which would mean that the train is open through the station at Lincoln Fields, is the latest update at Transportation Committee was Q3 2027. So looking at Q3 2027 for that.
The fiscal year for City of Ottawa is what? So it's Q3. What's that?
Q3 is like fall.
Fall. Yeah. So it's the same as the federal.
Yeah. And then the Complete Streets project, I just want to touch on why they don't kind of have the same lined up end date. So the Complete Streets project was going to be a project that was started after the LRT was done. They were waiting basically for that to be completely done, the train open, and then they're going to come in and basically do all of the ripping up of the streets that we're currently doing now. So all of the impacts.
Byron and Richmond.
And Richmond and Woodruff and all of that. So that was supposed to start after the train was open, which would have meant that you would have put up with all of the tunneling through the park and the noise and the impacts of the Lincoln Fields area to the tunnel and all that. And then after that, they would have started infrastructure services, replacing all of the water mains and doing all that work that we're doing on Richmond, Byron, and Woodruff. So essentially what they asked us to do is they bundled it into our project so that they could work at the same time, with the thinking of, you're already being impacted. There's a lot of different traffic impacts around. There's a lot of noise and dust and all that. If we bundle them together, the overlap will reduce your overall amount of years. That's the thinking. I know it does in practice mean that you're dealing with two projects, but just try and think of what it would be like if you had dealt with all of the LRT stuff, and then immediately when we're done, they started ripping up all the main roads in your neighborhood. So that's why I just wanted to say the Complete Streets project most likely run into 2028, just with the way things are going right now. It'll really depend on what we're able to get done this year. So I know it's Ottawa, so we just kind of started construction season. The asphalt plants and all that aren't open overnight yet, so we're really not running. We're doing as much as we can, but not running full capacity yet. So it really depends on how much we can get done this year. But that's just being honest with you. That's about what we're looking at right now. And if you look at 2028 as well, the odds that it would be done in February when everything's frozen, not great either. So we're looking at at the very earliest, probably spring. But again, we're looking at what gets done this year. Councillor Kavanaugh also brought a motion to full council, directing us to work with Kev to look at every possible way to accelerate the work. So we're looking at working weekends. We're looking at working nights if it's not too impactful to the people that live right on the intersection there, and all these different ways to try and get it done faster. But yeah, it's looking like it could be 2028 for that.
So 2028 for the water main and that.
Yes. So Byron is being done now. So the section, I know that. I know, I'm looking right at you. Yeah. The section on Byron right now is going to be done well before that. We're talking about the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
2028 will be a lot of landscaping and kind of final touches. So there'll be some of the spill over the major works, and then a lot of it will be kind of landscaping, finishing up, muffs, sidewalks, all that.
So you're gonna do our section now and then go to another section?
Yeah, it kind of moves around. Yeah,
exactly. Woodruff is the next big block. You can imagine we're doing west first, and we flip to the other side.
Okay.
How is the impact for the two towers that are being built on Richmond Road?
The ones
just in Ambleside.
East of the impact for.
How is it impacting your work? Is it impacting your work?
I mean, we've been there first, which helps. Do we have any direct, we coordinate with them all the time? I haven't heard of any, schedule impacts or anything like that yet.
Well, we've heard some complaints about basement cracks.
Yeah.
How do you determine who caused the basement crack? The blasting for those buildings, or worked with stage 2? So.
I can speak a little bit.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So when any major project starts, usually a project contractor will do what's called pre-construction surveys. So some of you that live on the alignment may have somebody come in 2019, 2018 even, and ask to film the exterior and even parts of interior of your home to set the baseline of this is what it looks like before we've touched it. In theory, I don't know, but that contractor who's building the towers there could have done something similar. So you would see if cracks were existing at 2025 when they started their blasting. You could assume and say the pictures, I'm just saying hypothetically, say the pictures and the video evidence from 2019 show no cracks, you would then say stage 2 would be the cause or potential cause of that, not the building. If those pictures show no cracks in 2025 and at the end date of that work, there were cracks, that's how we'd be able to determine liability in a claim situation. But everyone should be monitoring their properties. You should always be taking photos if you notice anything. Stage 2 is here, send it their way, and it comes to us eventually. But send it, because we get ahead of it if we can to mitigate. But that's how we would tell the difference.
I've actually had to put a claim in
Okay.
To Kev, and you solved it back when you had the
rarely happens.
Well, you recall when there was a piece of equipment that caused an electrical
Oh,
problem?
yes.
I ended up with a set of breakers that were blown.
Yeah.
And had to be replaced. And I submitted a claim and it was solved.
Excellent. It's good news. But that's how we tell.
Sorry, I have actually a question on the date. Did you
Absolutely.
say the West Extension Q3 2027?
Yes.
Is that though for like for the testing, or is that like people will be on that train?
That's substantial completion of
So
our
that'll be
projects.
the
So
testing.
The testing, okay.
Yeah.
That's what it's-
The last part of the old transit station in Lever Fields, when will that be taken down?
should be before substantial completion, I believe. That might be something we have to write down. So we have a package of our contract, and Kev basically has to deliver that. So the reason why it's kind of stumping me is I can't remember whether they are taking it down or whether it's an OC project. So if Kev's doing it, are you aware?
I believe we're taking it down, but the other reason we'll have to get clarification is that it was originally, so when the contract was written, there was, here's all the work you need to do before substantial completion to consider the project ready for passenger service. And here's all this work we know that you cannot do until the train is running. We can't get rid of a bus station like that until the train is moving those people. So that was called remaining works. There was a bunch of different packages of work that we were to do in remaining works. As the project has progressed, Kev and the city have worked together to say, is there what we believed in 2015, 2016 when the contract was written, is that really true, or is it today something we could actually move sooner? And so we have conversations like this all the time. And what would happen is a process under which we change the contract, aka it's called a variation, may come out that we could take out those facilities sooner by providing a temporary solution, for example, in the in-between of running the service and the trains, the station being removed. I believe it's our responsibility to remove, but it's still in discussion about whether it's going to be done after the project or during the project.
Yeah, because you don't want anything to affect how nice you build something and then all of a sudden, poof, you know?
That's right. That's
Or
right.
maybe it'll look like a little Berlin Wall.
I think, and you're right. And then the most important thing, and we think we all agree with the city, is to minimize impact to transit users who use those facilities every day to get to work and to operate in their daily life. So it's really a fine balance of making sure that we can provide the service, the city can provide the service, and can do the work. In some cases, that will mean after project. In some, that might mean we could do it sooner if we can maintain that service level.
So we'll let you know where it stands right now, and then obviously there's a caveat on it where it could change with the directions that Annie say.
So let's get back to the list of questions, and then
For sure.
But maybe just one more related to the Richmond,
Yeah.
like just that Richmond Road. Like it looks like I really worry about bikes right now, and it looks to me like the bike paths are almost kind of ready to go. Like is any of that stuff going to be ready this summer?
So certain things will start, and again, I came from the east when we were starting to bring these things online before the train actually opened. So Kev's general policy, and again, please stop me if I'm, but Kev's general policy is that if it's open and safe, we'll open it for people. We're not holding things because Kev technically is the steward of these things until they get handed over to the city. Kev's a really good partner, and they could technically just say no until it's over. We're not releasing it. That's not what they do, which is really nice for the city and us as well. So there's certain spots that as they come on, if the entire path is open and there's no reason for it to stay closed, sorry, it'll be open before the train is open. So they're not necessarily tied in practice because Kev does their best to open stuff up when it can. Cool.
You omitted one part of your project or your construction project, and that is Edgeworth sewers and refurbishing of.
Yeah, he's going to get to
Yeah,
that
yeah.
question. So he's got that question.
Yep.
Let's go through the question, and then at the end, if we don't get to them, then we'll ask the other ones. But believe me, it's on the list.
My next question is Lawn and Edgeworth drainage project and restoration. But yeah, okay, sounds good. So the question was, is Kev and the city aware that the drainage is not working? And yes, absolutely, everyone agrees, and we're looking into it. There's certain things that need to function properly for it to be considered complete under the project. It's not functioning properly. We're going to go out there as a team. Obviously, we have people visiting to take pictures and make sure that we have everything documented. It is understood, at least on the city side for sure, we do have to go out and decide what the plan is, but it's not functioning properly. We need to go back and we need to fix it. So that is understood. We don't have it's going to be done next week. We don't have anything for you like that. It is a fairly substantial, piece of work to get the entire drainage system to work properly because it needs to flow in a certain direction, all that, and it's clearly not working. And the first idea didn't work, so it needs a redesign and go from there. But the general kind of thought behind the question was, are you aware that it's not working? Absolutely aware it's not working. And that actually goes hand in hand with the hydro seeding that was done there last year. So they came in, I think, October last year and tried to put grass seed down, and it definitely did not work. But I just wanted to say, as the project, you don't get to check a box just because you put it down. There's certain coverage.
They put the sewers in and repaved the driveways in the fall of 24. Then in 25, as you say, they came back because what they'd done is put fill in and knock topsoil down. Everybody on the streets got huge amounts of weeds. We had to try and cut them with I damaged my lawn. We're trying to cut it down. It was like that for a year.
Yep.
Then they came back, as you say, October, November of last year, pardon me. They put new topsoil down.
Yeah.
And they put down your green seeding stuff.
Yeah, the time
And
didn't make
it's
sense.
been driven over by trucks, cars. They put no barriers to alert people that this is receding lawns. And it's a mess.
Yes.
In fact, the city came to my next door neighbor's property in February and started digging with what they call them, a backhoe, the ones with the big outriders. Put the big outriders down on my lawn or in front of my house. Now there are big depressions where there's going to be theoretically a lawn, which I'm supposed to mow. And the other thing was the drain itself in my front of my lawn. When they first put in the fill in 24, it was 6 inches below grade. Eventually fixed that a bit in 2025, and they put the new topsoil down. And it's more or less flush, but it's not, it's cockeyed.
Okay.
My point is, this is almost a year and a half now. I mean, what's going on? This is not a major construction project. It's just putting in sewers and putting a new lawn down and putting some sort of protection.
Incredibly minor either. Just saying, to get it to function properly, you can put them in and have them be there, but to get it to function, again, that's what we're saying.
I think you're talking more about east side of it. I'm on the west side. There was never a drainage problem.
We're talking about the whole drain. If it's draining on one side onto your side, then it's.
You're talking a design issue. You're talking drainage problems that haven't been fixed. You're talking east side of it.
Talking about the area in general, right? Because
and lawn as well.
We can't fix one side and just have it drain to the other and then say drain.
I think so. I think, to be fair, I think there was no attention to this for a good year. I think I wrote every month last summer and nothing happened until October.
Yeah.
I think once a plan is developed, we need to come and tell the community about how it's going to do it, when it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And there is the drainage issue of kind of at Edgeworth and Lawn there. But then if you go further up between Wentworth and Hartley, because that was dug up, it is huge ruts of mud, and there's a problem with parking. People are parking in there, they're going in there. It's an absolute mess. It really makes me think that this neighborhood is not ready for the intensification it's getting, because there's no curbs, there's so much traffic, and then there's been this neglect. So we need some tender loving care, and we haven't been getting it, and we want it.
So I can see the frustration.
It's very fair.
I agree. There's another point mentioned, parking. There was no parking sign on my for long. It was dug up with the sewer work. It was not replaced. I requested one in June. This, I guess, is a question for you. In June of 25, I've got the confirmation for reinstall the parking sign there. In fact, the parking sign was taken away by the people who did the prep work for the sodding. And now people will park there because they can't see a no parking sign. And
Another question back here?
Yeah, and so I don't want to jump the gun if this was going to be addressed, but I'm just curious because understanding that the sewage system has to get redesigned and then re-implemented. I'm
Drainage
assuming.
system, probably not sewage.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I misspoke. But all that to say was, I think one of the big challenges with the drainage is also the fact that the asphalt of the road is kind of washing away with wherever the water is going. So I just want to know in the timeline, like when will repaving, especially that stretch of Edgeworth where it intersects with Lawn, when is that slated to happen?
I don't know when that was slated to be redone. I don't know if it's part of our scope to repave Edgeworth and Lawn either. And it takes that away. Yeah, we can take that away. And I also wanted to just kind of
Some of the
gravity. Take it over.
Yeah, no, just because I think with a lot of the heavy construction in the area, also with some of the new developments in the area, like the road had already needed a lot of TLC. And then I think with everything being dug up and kind of patch filled after, the first time around, it kind of really needs, I think, maybe a fresh coat just to really finish it off. So you don't see the road kind of falling away.
I think what we're seeing, and it's going to continue, and this is what really worries me, is it's the cumulative impacts of all of this, like all that material that's gone for the LRT constructions all come down Edgeworth and gone in there, and then like around Hartley, there's all these places that, and maybe the paving plan isn't part of the LRT construction, but it's the cumulative impact in this neighborhood that's not getting the attention. And I think the drainage issue is a good example of that.
So we'll look into that, and if it's not with us, we'll get a contact.
You're making a commitment that you're coming up with a plan now to fix the drainage situation.
Yes.
And to repair the lawns.
Yep.
You're making, and you're gonna come back to our association.
Yes.
With that plan.
Yes.
And then they're gonna go to community.
Yep.
Okay.
And some of the asphalt too gets into little pieces, especially thanks to all the trucks coming through, and there's a lot of work in the sewer work at the end of Hartley and the end of Midway. Then we get a scanner, and I see that asphalt going into the wastewater sewers actually, and you should see in the ditches around my area, I'm picking up garbage.
Okay, so it's deteriorating pretty quick. Okay.
There's one other point we should mention concerning traffic on Edgeworth. It is a major access point for fire trucks, emergency vehicles. And if there are cars parked for construction, and whether it's a big project, too big apartment building, or just houses, that are being changed. Construction workers. It should be a tollway zone, I think. Left side, the west side of.
Welcome to the area. One of the questions we have was, no problem. Was whether the entrance to the LRT construction sites at Lawn and Edgeworth could be closed off sooner than the end of the project. The comment was that much of the equipment and trailers have been moved out, and that the site could be accessible from Carling. So the issue is not that everything's gone. The issue is there's temporary power lines running down there. That is the power source for the fans in the tunnel that are required for safety reasons, and they'll eventually be hooked up to a permanent power source.
What are this again?
At Lawn and Edgeworth, it's basically at the end of the street where it kind of runs into areas to the tunnel kind of in there. So basically, we need those power lines that are running east-west, right? Yep. Down the road to be removed, and it needs to be hooked up to final power, like a permanent power source, before we can start to go in and restore the area, do our landscaping, add some things which we can add. We talk about later. We have some little perks that we're adding in at the end too, but it's not an issue with, okay, now all the trucks are gone. It's more of what the infrastructure is currently there, and that's what's causing the problem. So it's a very valid point. If you're looking out and you don't see as many trucks going down, you don't see the trailers there anymore, why can't we get this back? That is why. So as soon as those power lines are down, we'll be looking to get those done. Yeah.
You said perks.
Yeah.
Are they surprise perks? Because we don't like surprises.
No, it was a requested perk. We have it at the end.
Okay,
So
we're talking about the water, right?
yeah, we are. Yeah. So we have. It was at the end. It was at the end, but we will be. And Kev is going to be delivering a connection off the water main to your community garden. It'll be done kind of at the part of the project where the landscaping is going in. So again, I just wanted to finish up here for the restoration of that area. So temporary power lines coming down, and so we can start to like hook up permanent power, go that. It won't be this year, likely looking at next year, sometime like that. So sometime mid-year, I would say probably. All efforts, understanding the season for gardening, getting it done at a time that is beneficial to you. We'll try everything we can to get it done so that you have
aim
the
for
season.
spring of 2027.
We'll aim for it, and we'll see how it goes. Again, like spring, we have very little time before it starts to be, from snow right into like basically now is when we're starting to go. So again, we'll get back to you. We'll keep in touch and all that going through. But during that portion of the project where we're going in, again, we don't have power lines. We can start to do some of the cosmetic things around there, restoring our work zones, making them look much better. All of that will kind of coincide with when we can go in and add the connection to the water main for your community garden. So looking like then, but again, we'll be in communication for if we have updated dates and any more information on that. We do have a map here somewhere. I haven't had a chance to look at the maps, but that shows where the water main connection is as well. So perhaps when we're done our questions here, just send it around.
It's a little yellow dot highlighted on every paper.
So it says essentially it's as close as it can be without interfering with things that we can't cross. So I know there's a creek there. I believe there's utility lines, stuff like that as well that we can't interfere with. So it's as close as we can possibly get it. It might require one of those rollers for your hoses, but because it's not like directly coming up in there, but it's as close as we can possibly get it. And yeah, very happy that was the answer to come out.
Does it actually cross the path? It looks like it's on the.
No, so here's the garden here.
Oh, the garden over there.
Yeah, it's on the right side of the road at least.
The current
Yeah.
water coming from the Ottawa housing through somebody's backyard.
Yeah.
So it's actually going to be about the same location. It's just you won't have to go into somebody's backyard.
Okay.
So that probably will work fine.
Okay, perfect. So that
Just one final point.
Yep.
Before we leave the question, Edgeworth.
Yep.
Lawn.
Yep.
Lawn as well. When you reseed.
Yep.
Or resod or whatever you do, you need to put up some sort of fencing.
Yeah.
To keep traffic off.
We were discussing that today, actually. Yes. Yeah.
Kevin's committed to put up a small barrier to stop driving over it when they reseed it in the spring.
Especially if all that construction going
Yeah.
Big WC. So that was that. Sorry, I skipped over a few. So we have a project update here. So anticipated works in your area. I just have kind of a rundown of everything that we're doing. So it again looks like just kind of construction crews going all over the place. But in 2026, work that will getting complete in certain areas. We have water main installations. We have storm and sanitary sewer installations. We have work on the south sidewalk of the Byron Linear Park. So if you're in Woodpark, it'd be the north side for you, the north side of Byron. We'll have those done this year. We have
side
south side of the park, which is the north side of Byron.
North side of Richmond. It's all just tied to the station.
Essentially where the work zone is now on Byron. The one across the street from you that runs parallel to the park, like right on the park, is going to be done this year. So kind of moving past the just doing utility work, and then by the end of the year we'll have some things, we'll have that complete, and then some other things like sidewalks and all that in for you there too. So we have permanent roadworks going in at Cleary, Woodruff, and New Orchard. Some certain intersections getting final paving, stuff like that done. At the Woodruff and Richmond intersection, crews are working on the shallow utilities. So essentially last year we did the very deep water main, the storm, and the sanitary sewers there. And then this year we're working on things that are like higher up in the ground. So electrical things that will allow the intersection to work properly. So signals and crosswalks and all that kind of things going in. We have a cycle track going in on the north side of Richmond. We're building protected pedestrian crossings at all 4 crossings at the Woodruff and Richmond intersection. So again, it's nice once in a while at these meetings to kind of point out it does look like just a bunch of construction crews moving all over the place and digging things and filling them back in, as we hear all the time. But we are going to be advancing the project significantly in 2026. And you'll start to see things like sidewalks and cycle tracks and crosswalks and all that kind of indicate where we are in the project, which again, it doesn't necessarily look like it everywhere, but we're advancing things significantly this year. Do you have any questions about that, Laura?
I don't know if you're getting to this, but focusing here on the complete street, but we also have the issue of the bridge that goes over to the metro and by the Lincoln Fields, which I think is all part of the CAV work as well. Like, when is that pedestrian sidewalk on the north side of Harlan going to be open?
We have Carling as well.
Yeah. I don't have that date, but we can take that away, pull it out of the schedule for you.
Because I think there is also going to be work done on the bridge, and I don't know the timing of that as well. But to me, that was something that was taken away during LRT construction. So I think it's part of
previously planned work on the bridge, you mean?
No, they're redoing the whole bridge. Originally was going to be filled and not be a bridge, but I think it's back to being a bridge, and I think there was funding actually in this budget for this year. But I don't know when that's going to happen. But like the fact that we haven't had a north side sidewalk, because you have to go to the south, but then you have all of these buses coming in and out, and it's a very dangerous thing. And I see people on wheelchairs going in areas where they shouldn't be on the north side because they just don't want to go to the south side. We need to know what's going to happen there, and if it's not going to happen, then we need, because of the bridge construction, we need to know that too.
Absolutely, yes. We'll take that away. We'll get you an update on that. And again, with any of the things, that is us. But anything else that you have questions about, we're not just going to tell you, no, it's not us. We'll figure out who it is, and we'll get you a contact and work with the Councillor Kavanaugh's office as well to get that. It's good to give you good information and not just say it's not just us. So we do have an update. Would you like to do your item tonight for the commemorative plaques? Yes.
Thank you. They're very kind giving me the good news to share.
Yeah.
But we do recognize that there were a lot of trees that were cut down, especially in your neighborhood, to build this LRT. And although it's going to be a benefit for hopefully your neighborhood city, those trees did lose their lives to this. And so, members of the community wanted that commemorated, wanted that memorialized. And there was this particular tree called Mother Elm that was important to the community, and pieces of that tree were kept, and they're going to be turned into a piece of furniture that you can come to at this library, and donated by the Heritage Department and Archives Department and Councillor Kavanaugh as well. And there's going to be a plaque on wherever location you decide. There's 3 options that were presented to the community association, and you guys can give input on where you think is appropriate for this plaque to be, recognizing the trees that were moved or were cut down. So
replanting these trees.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can see landscape and renderings are all around here. Again, if you would like to have a look at, we do have these in electronic copies as well. This is a much, I think, better way to kind of have people not just staring at a screen, and it's huge as well. You can't fit that on the screen. So if you have any questions about deciphering things, maybe we'll take a 5-minute pause after we're done and before we go, just so we can answer questions about what you're looking at. So when you do go home or wherever, because they're yours to keep, you can decipher it a little easier. Yes.
Is that up to discussion, or is that a fait accompli? Just because in front of my house was supposed to be trees and now it's, I don't know what.
Okay, I don't think it's always exact as well, so we can look into
Okay.
to finding out whether every single one is on there as well.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll go through there, yeah.
That one's more just a rendering. We have drawings more like these ones for Byron, which are a little bit more accurate.
Okay, maybe I'll look at this one with you up.
Yeah.
These ones aren't for Byron, these are more for Lawn Avenue, but we
Okay.
do have ones like this as well for Byron.
Okay,
We can show you which ones
okay,
before we go.
perfect, thank you, that's great, thank you.
Yes.
It's unfortunate that your western edge of the paper basically doesn't show from Richmond to Lincoln Field Station. So we're basically cut off, so all of the multi-use path, like all the edge of the community garden area,
Supplementary.
nothing, like you're basically like, I don't even know, I know this is impossible, but I mean.
Well, the
No, but I mean like a picture, like
Yeah,
a
we-
lovely picture, and then like you got.
we don't have renderings like this for everywhere. This is one that's by us. So these are actually the drawings that we work off of. Not these ones for sure. So this is kind of the line to this community garden up here. Like this. I just didn't print everything.
Oh, okay, it's like all detail where like what is in Woodpark.
This one lives on the side of our office for the Richmond Local Police Chief thing, so if
Yeah,
you're
but
explaining to
it's
people
like
where you're
that.
talking about, you
But I'm
can go
looking
right
at
here,
it.
and that's.
Complicating factors is that it's the NCC that owns that land, and they have not yet come up with their plan of how they're going to, it will be reforested, I'm quite sure, but they don't really want to talk to us till the land kind of comes back to the NCC. Right now, it's been loaned out. I believe I do have a map, something like that, in my basement on the NCC lands. So there is a similar plan for the NCC lands, but we have not have it here tonight.
So go through, I believe we've touched on everything. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't see it.
Tree replacement ratio. Is it 1:1, 2:1?
2-to-1 on this part.
2:1 in Woodpark for what was removed from Woodpark, or are these trees going up in the leaf?
I'd say because of the space, and again, we don't have one specifically for this, but because of the space, you're one of the few places that we actually have a long corridor that trees can be planted on. So I found in different parts of the city, you do get that where, yes, we got our trees taken down, but now they're over there. This area is unique because we have the linear park going in. I think you'll find that the trees that have been taken down elsewhere for this project will be migrating into the park more than that opposite.
It's not calculated like that, but when you look at the tree complement, I would say take a look at the tree complement when the NCC comes out with our designs and get a sense of how many trees are. We don't calculate by area the ratio of return. We plan for planting across the entire alignment, and we ensure that with every tree in the inventory, so we track every tree that is removed over a certain diameter size, and then we have to plant to that number and higher of non-invasive native species. And so that is what we do, and we take the design drawings that are approved by the city and by the NCC, and we implement. So it's not designed by
So
that.
I think we should be able to get the amount of trees that were taken down in this area in general, because there's a tree inventory, and then we should be able to have a list of how many are going back in as well.
Just keep in mind that wood is in our Woodpark name.
Yes, I just wanted to make the point that we hear a lot of the concerns around other parts of the city, and they're correct that
They won't get the.
these trees were taken down, and now there's a station there. So where are they going to go? And they actually migrate to other places. If you see on the 174, there's a bunch of trees that had to be taken down to build the east extension, and they're they're planted in groves, kind of on berms along the highway. Like they're helping people be shaded from it, but they're not going back exactly where they were. And I just wanted to make the point that this is one of the few places in all my years on the project that I've seen that we actually have space to put them back. Because it is just a lot of concrete. Yeah.
Or they get planted.
But the NC, is Kev doing the tree planting for the NCC? Is that part of the contract?
I'm not certain about that. I know that we have to plant all over. I'm not certain if we are required to plant on NCC land or if they are just asking us to pay a credit so that they plant. We'll need to get an answer on that.
It would be great if we
Yeah.
can get it, because we're having a lot of trouble.
Lead that works with the NCC as well,
Yeah.
so I've got that written
It
down.
would be nice if they didn't take 10 years to figure out what the hell they're going to do with that land.
It's the NCC.
Yeah.
They have 100 years.
So just, I will say that Kev does plant trees for the NCC. We've done it
Oh, okay,
in the
sure.
east end, in the west already.
Okay.
So there are, if you go down towards Woodruff and Baseline, there is the Pinecrest Pond there.
Oh, yeah.
That's part of the NCC land, and there's the park that kind of extends off the side of it. Kev planted a bunch of trees in there, and that was part of the NCC credit
Can
trees.
you just confirm if that's the same for Lincoln Field though?
I-
Because there were very many discussions in 2019 about this particular space.
Mhm.
I want to make sure that that is the
Yeah.
case here.
We do have plans to plant.
That's for us to deliver?
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll
awesome.
take it- we'll
Okay,
take it away.
then that's it. Awesome.
Okay,
My
are you
memory
doing a
is-
list of questions?
The list of questions.
Anybody on the screen, anyone from connecting virtually with a question for the team here? Okay, any other, we'll take two questions, so we have some other business to do. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm just curious what the signage will be like in our residential area for the O train station.
So we have a marketing team at OC Transpo. It often gets very convoluted with what we do, and then but already like there are signage plans going out, so we can write that down. We can look at what that team is looking at doing. They do all the plaza signage. They do all of the even the bus signage for all that. Like there's a whole team for that at OC Transpo. But you can leave it with us, and we'll get
Yeah,
back
it'd
to
be
it.
nice to know like for the Woodpark area specifically, because like I know downtown they have on the road or they have like the O signs on the poles
Yep.
directing people. So I'm just curious how far will that extend and how informative
Yep.
I guess the signage will be.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah. Yes.
I just want to say, you guys are really nice, like, to work with. Kev and you, the city, like, you know, every time we ask something, you guys are there. Your workers are super nice. They push away, they move their truck, they see us coming and
Well, that means
you
a
know,
lot. Thank you very much.
they're really, really nice. So
I appreciate it.
Only me too, because we met on your door camera. I'm like, hi, it's something on.
I know it's you, yeah.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Just on that, like we try our best. This is a massive project, and
Yeah, I know.
really appreciate the patience. And every time we kind of get in front of people, it always goes better than you'd think it would in your mind. So I do like coming out and do this. We'll certainly be back, and we're not running out now as well. If you have any additional questions, but really appreciate it. Yep.
Yes, Michael, you gave commitment to us to provide a new plan for the Edgeworth lawn drainage. And
Yes.
sodding, resodding.
Can I just add, I'll share in that commitment. Kev will come at the same time. We'll share in that commitment.
Okay.
So we have to take this. We're just going out now. We'll let you know as soon as possible. We're on it. Like we are aware that this is an issue. Oh yes, yes,
Oh, this
So-
year.
yes.
Just to fill Teresa in on this discussion, we've had quite a bit of discussion about the lawn Edgeworth mess. And Alan has lived through it on his front lawn, but and I don't know if you've been on lawn recently, like there are tire tracks all along. It really makes me think that we can't deal with the development in this neighborhood based on the road system, because like it's like there's just it's just ruts. And so anyhow, what we would like is a plan for lawn and Edgeworth, and it to come back to the community so we know what's happening before it happens, and so that we ensure that we have something that we think is actually going to work. So
Not just plans and timelines.
Yes. It'll certainly be this year, and we're looking to get it done as soon as possible because it is a problem. So we're just trying to figure out when we can go out. When again, there's been sidewalks every day. You'll see people walking all over the place, but we know it's a problem. We've identified that it is, which is the first domino.
Consider as well that planting seeds fall.
Yes. No, we
did that.
identified that at the time, actually. Oh well. Yeah, no. So there is that, back to that, like the benchmark is not that the seeds were down, the benchmark is that there's a certain percentage of ground cover and it needs to be checked at different benchmarks to show that it's growing. So it's not just, okay, it goes down and it's done. So yes, we'll be back to the community association. We'll give you updates as soon as we can on when we're going to come back, and we're going to work through plans and figure this out. Okay.
Well, just a little bit of time check. We have the rest of our meeting, which basically is most of our meeting, and the library closes in 45 minutes.
Okay. Bye, everyone. I think that's our cue to get out of here.